Hello, Florida. This is Joe Mullins of the Live Workshop Play Show, and welcome to the show. And today's focus is going to be on the play part of Florida. Now, when we talk about the play, we talk about tourism, Disney World, concerts, sporting events. Florida is certainly the mega capital of all of that. But what I want to talk to today, and one of my guests, is the EDM music craze, the music focus that's moving here. We've got events in Orlando. This is an amazing EDM event that's now taking captive of the world. We've got one in Miami called Ultra Music Fest, which is unbelievable. It is one of the biggest in the world. It started out very small, but it has a thing called EDM music. And I've had several listeners reach out and go, Joe, isn't that a big party, like a big, massive drink fest and hallucinogenic fest and drug fest? And I go, you know what? There's another side of this industry. And we were able to talk and see it when we went to it. And I met someone in the industry that I wanted to bring on today. It's DJ. He's a DJ. Aspen, welcome to the show.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Now
Thank
you're
you.
not only a DJ, but you also have, so people don't know you're this young kid that's out there partying, doing stuff, tattooed all up you actually have a professional career too. So tell our listeners kind of what you do for the main thing and then what got you into doing the DJing on the side.
Yeah. So I actually work at Merrill Lynch as a financial advisor over here. So I, help manage people's money. And I love that side, like corporate life. And, I love building relationships and talking to people. And, I would like to say I'm relatively knowledgeable in that field. So people trust me with their money, and I, have my own clients and my own book of business. And we've just been continuing to grow that as well as help people along the way. So that's what I do during the day. And then I've always had a passion for music. And I just, didn't really know how to explore that when I was younger. And then I just picked up DJing and then producing. And now so I'm a DJ / music producer. And it's taken me some really cool places, and it's going really, really well. And I have a nice following so far, and a nice, group of listeners, some pretty loyal listeners. And, it's really been fantastic. So it's a lot of work between the two, but I love both. And it's definitely been a great time.
An era, and I'm a little older, but I come from an era where the music, it was the concerts in the stadiums, and certainly that's still going around, but it's changed a lot. People are now doing, when we wanted music, we went to Home Folks or Best Buy or, oh God, I can't even remember the name, the Rolling Stones. We went to these shops to buy records, and then it went on to, I didn't know the 8-track era. I would always look up and go, oh my God, y'all are old. You have an 8-track in your car. But I had a record, and then we went from the records to the amazing cassette tapes. And then I'd pull them out, and you'd get these cassettes. They'd run, and you'd see these cassettes going all over the place, and you're sitting up there trying to re-reel your stuff in. And then we went to these things called CDs, and I love CDs. Yeah. I love CDs. CDs were great. You put them in, you couldn't scratch them. Somehow I'd go to the beach for the weekend, and I'd come back, and I'd have a scratch in my CD, and I go, these things aren't supposed to have a scratch. But I thought this was the last thing I was ever going to buy. And then all of a sudden, these little things came out called iPods. And these iPods started downloading and streaming music, and I was like, what the heck is all this? So
exactly.
I got into it, I started doing it, and now that I can't even imagine having to go. When I want music, I get it instantly now. I go to Spotify, I go to Apple Music, whatever. Yeah. You get it. So your technology kind of came from that. That industry kind of came from it, the digital, the music online. It wasn't records. You look at a DJ spinning records. Is it still, what's the difference between a DJ spinning the old records and the stuff that you guys do today?
Yeah. So that's actually a great question. And there's so many different ways to answer this. So spinning actual records is still a very real thing. There's a lot of cool spots that it's a little bit niche, and it brings like a little bit of a different vibe, a different feel to it. There's a place in Miami called Dante's Hi-Fi, for example. They spin actual records. So you'll have still a mixer in the middle, but then you'll place real records on top, and you can still spin that way. And that's still a thing. It's definitely not, as prominent as it used to be, by all means, definitely not, but it's still around. like old school DJs that are older now, like like David Guetta and Tiesto. They started by spinning with real records, and then as technology grew, now everything's electronic. I have a little USB with all my tracks on it that I just plug in, and I'm ready to go. I've got my headphones, I got my USB. That's all I need to take to work, and I plug in, and you have you have the mixer in the middle still. You have different sections are called CDJs that you'd have at most clubs, and they're each individual. They hold each, I guess, individual one track would be, but you have four of them. You can actually have six of them, and you mix that way electronically, and everything's shown to you. So you can almost like visualize the song. You can see it and visualize like the wavelength of the song. And yeah, that's where technology is now. So
It's really amazing. Yeah, it's amazing seeing.
Yeah.
I did a show with my 10-year-old son, and we started talking about technology. And I told my son, I said, when I was 10 years old, I had to listen to. We had just went and saw Spider-Man, or not Spider-Man, Superman. And I said, when I was 10 years old, I had to listen to Superman on a record, and I had to play the record, and it talked, and you got all excited, but no visual at all. And it's kind of like radio.
Right, yeah.
Radio started out, it was all audio. We did audio. This show itself, it was all audio for many years. Now all of a sudden it's video and it's online, and I'm going, oh God, I didn't prepare my hair. I don't have a hat. I got a T-shirt on, and not, and I'm me. I'm known in the industry to be very me. I'm just Joe, is what they say.
That's the best way to be.
But you talk about the technology and how it's changed. And we talked about video calls. I said, I couldn't video call my other brother or sister or my dad or my son like we did today. We had to go see them, or we had to call, or we had to write a letter. I mean, I don't even think these kids know what a stamp is anymore. And my son looked at me and he goes, a stamp, Dad? He goes, what is that? What do you do that for? And I said, well, it's how you send a message. And he goes, why don't you just text it? And I go, well, we didn't always have that. But the technology has changed so much in music and video and audio and production. I mean, even being able to, back then, you would have to be in the studio with me. You're in your office. Right. I'm in my studio. We're able to do these video things and come together and put a great show on.
Yeah,
a lot of people realize that now, but the technology wasn't that way just a few years ago. The EDM was something that came out of technology and spinning all this music and doing it because they didn't have that years ago. Now, let's talk a little bit about the events. Like, let's use Ultra, for example. Ultra's a big event, massive event in Miami. Everybody goes, Joe, you need to come to Ultra. I got two things that I say to that, and I want to get your input on this, and I want my listeners. I go, number one, I'm a sports and entertainment agent. I said, I lived in an industry where I went wide open. So just because of me going wide open, August 16th, this past year, I celebrated 14 years of recovery from drugs and alcohol, cocaine, alcohol. So when some guy asked me to go to Ultra, I looked up and I went, ooh, I don't know that I can go to Ultra. I probably don't want to do that because I used to have a little fun at places like that, getting a little out of control. But I ended up going, and I realized it's a whole different experience for some people. Some people go in there. Totally. It's not a place that you maybe some go, okay, I'm going there. I'm going to get high. I'm going to do this. I'm going to party. But there are other reasons. And I realized my industry, the last 14 years I've continued to work in it. When I told I wasn't, I had to look at it differently than what it was the first 15, 20 years 100%. That I was in it. I had to look at it like it was a way of making work. It was a way of enjoying something that I enjoy doing, not escaping from the world. My escape now is in the music, is in the work, not in the hallucinogenics that I did at the time. And Aspen, so, going to an event like Ultra, for a person like me, we were talking about the stigma of it. What would you say to someone about the event in its whole and going to it and the kind of experience that they could get out of it?
Yeah. So, like I was kind of saying, anybody can have any type of experience that they want there. You can go there and, you'll have some people that really will indulge in whatever they want to indulge in. But, I have a great time going there just to hang out with people, and you can go completely sober and just enjoy the music, enjoy the people that you're with. You don't have to be in the crowd if you don't want to. You could be outside the crowd. There's a GA experience. You can go if you want to, go a little bit more expensive, but if you wanted to go into you can have a table with an area with nobody around you. I fortunately, like this past Ultra, I got to do it backstage. So That's a whole nother experience as well. But all of which I go to enjoy the music, right? Like, I mean, I obviously do this for a living and I love it. And it's for me, it's, networking, talking to people, meeting people, people in the industry here and there. And it's a completely different experience. And you have people doing, I mean, you can have any experience that you'd like by going to an event like that. And for me, it's out of like the joy and the passion, the love for the music is the reason why I would go. And everyone can have that experience, and you can go into the crowd and not do anything if you don't want to, and just really, it's an amazing show. I mean, what they put on
Reminds
there
me a
is,
lot about like Formula One that I do. There's
yeah,
so many options that people go through that track
totally,
they can do. They can watch the race. They can go buy merchandise. They can people watch.
100%.
Certainly, it's fun to people watch at those. But I do see that. And when I went to Ultra, I kind of said I'm going to go there and I'm going to check it out. And when I went, I realized this is no different than that Rolling Stones concert I went to 6 months earlier.
Totally.
Everybody
Totally.
was smoking weed and I wasn't, and I was smelling it, and I was going, okay, I don't want to get in the middle of all that. And I just kind of went on and did my thing. And I ended up
Yeah.
watching them and laughing, going, thank God this isn't me, but I can't imagine that I used to be like that. And I was.
And so, like, going off that, you'd be surprised how many people go there and go into the crowd, do everything completely sober. I know so many people, and almost everybody that I know just goes to enjoy and hang out,
Watching. Yeah,
right?
you love the people
Exactly, and
watching.
just enjoy, and you go for the music. And so nobody's doing anything that's like the stereotypical whatever. Like, nobody's doing that. So, like, there are people that do, obviously, at every concert there are, but it really, you'd be surprised with, like, there's that stigma behind EDM and that, rave culture, etc. But there's a lot of people that just go to enjoy. And
Listen,
especially like with what's,
many of our listeners know that I was in politics, and I'll say the same thing. I can't tell you how many times I'd look over at another politician, and because I've been there in my industry, I'd look over and go, that guy's drunk, or that guy's high, or that guy's on cocaine. I saw it.
Yeah.
So there's no industry you don't see that in.
Right.
Certainly I tell people addiction's so serious, you can't sit here and go, okay, I'm only going to be high at this point, or I'm only going to be an addict on Friday night. Unfortunately, I was telling you, my Friday night started and they didn't end till Thursday. And then I said, oh, hell, it's Friday again. I might as well start back up. So I'd have 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks going.
Right.
But these certainly is different enjoying this music. So people of all types can come to these events. You know what? So our listeners understand what EDM is. Let's break away. You brought us a little sample. Let's listen to that right now.
Yeah.
Is this all you want? Baby, I'll show you how. Is this all you need? What's your desires? Look in my eyes, hit restart. I feel your love like a flood. No, 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 let the sun go down. We don't need no, no, no. Let the sound of our hearts beat slow now. We could take it higher, higher. Everything I want when you're against my body. No, no, no.
So,
Okay.
Aspen, tell me about this music we just heard. That was pretty cool. I was getting ready to just jump up and dance. I love this music. Tell me a little bit about what this is.
Yeah, so this is it's a subgenre of EDM, right, called Afro House, and kind of going off of what we were talking about. There's so many different ways to experience like electronic dance music. It's all like the same overarching genre, but this is like when you're thinking like, oh, you're for example, in a beach in Mykonos, on a beach in Mykonos or something like that, and you're just vibing, hanging out, relaxing, where everyone's just like, maybe, having some wine at dinner or whatever it is, right? Like this is something that could be playing. And, this is one of the biggest subgenres, one of the biggest genres of EDM right now is Afro House. It's absolutely blowing up. It's selling out stadiums, etc. Some of the, the biggest artists in the world are playing this music. And it is more of like a more relaxed version of house, And so kind of going off of that, there's a lot of people that listen to Afro House that just go there to, like lightly dance, vibe, hang out. And that's what this genre is.
How we're taking, all of a sudden you can be listening to something and then all of a sudden you hear an old version of like Jesse's Girl or something in it and the music. And then all of a sudden you flip back. It's amazing seeing where we've come and where we've gone to. And you're right. The music definitely puts you in a good mood. I know I go to the concerts and I've got my political life. I've got my business life. I've got my real estate. I've got my, just everything, my radio show. But when I go to the events, I love to escape all that. And I love to go and get my head on something that just kind of winds me down. And then being in my past and being in sobriety today and living a different life, I love going and watching and seeing, and I've had people go, "You're insane doing that. You're going to put yourself at risk." And I go, "No, I'm not. I've got a very strong foundation." I said, The alcohol and the drugs weren't my problem. It was the mental mindset that I was going into and doing. And I didn't realize that a lot of these events like this EDM and like the concerts that I went to, I could escape the craziness that caused me to want to escape and go to just it. And I didn't need all the hallucinogenics or the alcohol. So that's why the EDM and the Ultra and the Orlando Fest, the music fest up there are so much fun to go to because I can go and escape, listen to the music and watch people and laugh and think, oh my God, this is so much fun. Let's talk about Ultra a little bit more. Now this year, Ultra had a little surprise weather come into it. Tell me what the scene was like. We're seeing pictures of people like, submerged into water. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so it was pretty funny. I personally
electrocuted. If I'm a DJ and I'm doing electric and it's raining, I'm gonna go, oh shit.
Yeah, so I brought an umbrella actually, and I had it on top of my shoulder, just like pinned up against my shoulder the entire time, and I was walking around with just an umbrella. There was massive puddles, people were stubbing, it's muddy, everyone's getting gross. It was pretty funny. A lot of people embrace it and have a really great time. I definitely, even though that day it was Sunday, and I spent a lot of time, like backstage and kind of like wandering through everything, but I was still walking through water. It was crazy. It was like flooded. One of my best family friends, they're called Infected Mushroom. They were playing at the festival on that day, and their set got canceled because of the rain, etc. Which really sucked because I love watching them. They're so good, and I love hanging out with them. So that was unfortunate, but they it is what it is. It was just it was rainy. It was craziness. And also the year before, people don't remember, the year before that, also the same thing.
I went to a Georgia event and it was called a Mud Fest, and I was like, where did y'all come up with the name Mud Fest? And the country guy said, Joe, years ago we had this event and it was a concert and it was a country concert. And I laughed when he talked, and he said, he goes, it started raining a lot, and people just said, what the hell? We all got in the mud and started partying, and he goes, ever since then, it's been called the Mud Fest. And it reminded me of seeing the videos, people just embracing having a good time, not getting upset, and just going, oh, well, you can't control the weather. And getting in it, it reminded me of that. It was a lot of fun. But, that's the kind of attitude you want to go into with these things.
Totally.
And escape from it. Now, let me ask you this. Now, you're available. You do the DJing. You do the EDM stuff or the music stuff, the mix stuff. How can people get in touch with you, and what kind of events do you like doing? Are you set to doing?
Yeah. Yeah. So in terms of people getting in touch with me, I have Instagram. My handle is Aspen OFC. So it's like Aspen Official. And I play quite often. I have a set on Friday at the Hard Rock. I played at Live last Saturday. And I play often. I travel around to play. So I put everything on my Instagram. Everybody can go look there. I post my sets. People can go see. And I have a website as well, www.aspen-music.com. And in terms of that song that we also played for you, that's unreleased currently. And I don't know exactly when I'm going to release it, but it has a lot of label attention. So we're working to get that released as soon as possible. But I have constant releases about like once a month, sometimes a couple times a month. But it really just depends on where I'm at in my release schedule with the labels that I'm working with, et cetera. So yeah, for right now, that song's called "Take It Higher," and for right now, it will remain unreleased. But we have a lot of label attention on it, so I'm looking for that release.
With the way technology is, and I guess I should ask this: you don't run down to Best Buy anymore. You don't run down to Home Folks. You don't run down to the record store on the corner. Where do people get this music? So how would I download your music to be able to listen to more of this amazing stuff?
I'm on every platform: Spotify, Apple Music, SoundCloud, all of it. Amazon Music, whatever it is. It's just Aspen in all caps. I should be one of the first names that pops up in artists. I've got about 100,000 monthly listeners, a bit more than that. And yeah, I mean that's where everybody can find me, and I release on every platform. So.
I actually recommend, I'm going to go to my 10-year-old son and tell him, and I guarantee you he'll take me right to it and say, "Oh, Dad, I listened to him already." And the reason I'm saying that is I did. And my 10-year-old son told me where to get the music from. And I'm going, God, how does my son know more than I know? And I'm 55 years old. It's amazing how technology has come. And it's crazy because technology is almost better for a younger kid. It's for the younger, and then the older need to catch up and get the younger. It's the way the younger teach us today. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Well, Aspen, I want to thank you for joining us today. Again, let our listeners know where to hear your music, your amazing music at.
Yeah, Spotify, Apple Music, any of those platforms, any platform you stream music on, I'm on there. It's Aspen in all caps, and I'm looking forward to bringing in a bunch of new listeners, and also my Instagram's at Aspen OFC. So shoot me a follow, shoot me a DM. It'd be great to connect with all you guys. So, yeah.
Aspen, I want to thank you for joining us, and I want to remind our listeners, Live, Workshop, Play, Florida is the best state in some of these venues and these events. We have Ultra, the Music Fest in Orlando, seeing talent like Aspen, who lives here in Palm Beach area or Boca area, doing the music out of there. Yeah, amazing seeing you guys, but the talent we have in our great state of Florida, just if you can't have fun in Florida, you can't have fun anywhere. Amazing state to live, workshop, play. Have a great weekend, and let's get out and listen to some of that music.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Joe.
Thanks, Aspen.